I'm Miss Elisa with St. Mary's County Library, and welcome back to Pint-Sized Playtime. Today I have 5 more simple and fun sensory play activities for babies and toddlers. As usual, these activities are meant to inspire creative play and a full sensory experience. So please try to engage all 5 of your little one's senses as they play. Ask them questions to get them thinking. Just let them have fun and go crazy enjoying their experimental playtime. First up, we have another art-inspired activity. This is something that we do at Mini Monet. It is bubble wrap painting. All you're gonna do is get some bubble wrap, lay it out. You can just roll out the whole roll or give small pieces. You're going to dab some paint on the bubble wrap and let your child play. You can give them a paintbrush to paint on the bubble wrap. You can also give them some paper so that they have some different textures to play with. One of my favorite things to do is to put some paint on the bubble wrap and then fold it in half and let your child go crazy. Use their hands, use their feet. They can also just finger paint all over the bubble wrap. Popping the bubbles when there's paint involved is super messy but very fun. Something I did in this activity was I folded the bubble wrap in half with the paint inside, moved it around, squished it around, and then opened it back up and laid it out on some paper. So I created this really fun, abstract masterpiece. It's really just about seeing what your child comes up with when given things like bubble wrap and paint. Next up, we have an ice and water sensory bin. This is a super fun way to experiment with different temperatures. So I grabbed a bin, filled it up with some water, and then added some ice. To make this extra fun, you could take some small plastic toys and freeze them in a Dixie cup of water overnight and add that into your sensory ice bin. Something I like to do is dye some of my ice cubes to make the experience a little bit more colorful. But a main part of this sensory bin is after you've let your child play in the cold water and the cold ice, you can take some warm water and a turkey baster or a little pipette, or just using a straw to suck up some warm water and then dribble it onto the ice and let them melt the ice cubes with the warm water. Letting them melt the ice with the warm water is just another element to play with temperature and experiment with temperature. And if you have those frozen plastic toys, it can be super fun to try to free the plastic toy from the ice. Next up, we have a super fun idea, and this is to create a sensory fort or a sensory tunnel. You're just going to take a cardboard box of pretty decent size. You want it big enough so that your child can at least crawl through it. So if you have a baby, this is a little bit easier, but if you have a toddler, you are going to need quite a big box. You're just going to open it up so that it's like a tunnel, or if you'd rather just create the fort, you can just have the big box. You can fill the box with bubble wrap or fabric or felt or anything that's just going to create a different texture inside the box as they crawl through or sit inside. A huge part of this idea is just adding some fabric scraps or ribbon onto the outside of the fort or tunnel. This creates an extra bit of texture for them to crawl through as they are experiencing the sensory box. I had some extra Christmas ribbon that I cut to size, and you can put some holes into the box and double knot the ribbon onto the box. I just used some packing tape that worked just as well, but tying it on would probably give you a little bit more of a secure bond to the box. I don't have a baby or toddler, but I do have a cat, and he did enjoy crawling in and out of the sensory box. Our last 2 activities today are great for toddlers or older children who are developing fine motor skills. First up, we have the scooping station. For the scooping station, you're just going to get a big bin or box and place tons of different receptacles for your child to play with. You can use cups, bowls, pitchers, bottles, funnels add a really fun element, and pretty much anything you can think of that they could use to scoop. So I have some measuring cups, some spoons, a pasta server, pretty much anything that is a little bit different that they can use to scoop up things. For this, I used black dried beans and some sugar so that there were 2 different kinds of textures and sizes to what I was scooping up. What's really fun is having different size openings to the bottles and cups that your child is dumping things into. This just adds an extra element to the activity, lets them think a little bit harder about why the bean doesn't fit in certain things, but the sugar does, things like that. This was super fun just to practice that scooping motion and to be able to aim and put it into a different bottle or cup. Last up, we have the pouring station. Like the scooping station, this is going to build a fine motor skill, and that is, of course, pouring. So you're going to take different bottles, cups, bowls, pretty much anything that your child can pour liquid in and out of. This would be super fun if you dyed your liquid different colors so that they could mix together and things like that. I just used regular water and it's pretty fun. What's great about this is because you have your bottles and cups in one bin, it's okay if they miss a little bit because it's just going to pour into the outer bin. Obviously you're going to get some splashes and some spills, but it's okay because it's in a controlled environment. So you're building those motor skills while also having fun. I hope you enjoyed today's 5 simple but fun sensory activities. Please tag the library in any pictures or videos you may take of your child experiencing these different sensory activities. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.